Cork Today on C103.
A Daft.ie report yesterday showed rents continuing to increase in Cork as many find it tough to save for a mortgage to purchase their own home. The Society of Chartered Surveyors in Ireland expect property prices to increase by 4.5% over the next 12 months. So to take a look at the current property market, I'm joined by Majella 𝐥𝐢𝐬𝐬𝐿 of D&G 𝐥𝐢𝐬𝐬 in Bandon. Good morning to you, Majella.
Good morning, John.
And thanks for joining us. I suppose, first of all, let's start with the current market that we're looking at and that we've spoken about briefly yesterday on the show. In terms of demand and supply.
Well, there's lots of demand out there, JohnPaul, and unfortunately supply is very low and has been for some time now. In fact, in the past year, we're down over 20%. So the market is very, very tight at the moment.
And there's no sign of this changing, Majella, because no matter how many houses are built and we see construction sites across the country, it will take time to complete housing estates. And many of us were looking at the property sections that come with the papers at the weekend, and you just see the prices of housing going up. And that is all to do, as you outlined, with the demand. So you would feel sorry for those, and I'm sure you see it on a daily basis, those who are bidding for a home, looking for their lifetime home, and they just simply can't reach that goal.
Absolutely. And I suppose just going back to, we have seen an increase in new builds in the past few years, and they're mainly targeted, I suppose, at the first-time buyers. But the second-hand market is where there's a tight deadlock at the moment. Supply is way, way down there, and it's creating a gridlock.
And what type of properties are more sought after now at the moment, Majella?
Turnkey homes, JohnPaul. People are looking for homes that they can move into, that's finished, they've no work to do, mainly because they don't have the time. The other issue there is trying to find labour to carry out the work. So turnkey homes that are energy efficient with a B3 or greater, so they can get the green mortgage rates. Location is still a very important thing. People still want to be near amenities, and of course coastal homes are forever important and in high demand here in West Cork.
And when you say turnkey, then a lot of the newer homes, of course, that we see being built in many towns right across Cork and indeed in the city areas, they are turnkey, so they're very high in price, but they're what people are looking for. The demand is still high for those. I mean, all those new homes we see, which are over 400,000 euros or more, they're all selling.
They are, absolutely. And I mean, the second-hand market has some great turnkey homes as well. Basically what I mean by turnkey home is when somebody can just move in there, they've no work to do.
So for those who are thinking of selling up or indeed purchasing, if they want a turnkey, if you're selling up, I think September is always a month, Majella, isn't it, that people decide to sell or decide to keep an eye on the market if it's a good time to move. If you were selling up, would you advise people to renovate their home first, or do what needs to be done so that the person who may be purchasing will just be simply able to move in?
It all depends really, JohnPaul. It depends on the property and it depends on your situation. So, for example, if you, like I'd always advise, try and get your home looking as good as you can. So curb appeal is important. Make sure that the outside is looking well, the inside is looking well. Declutter, depersonalize, and if you can paint it, fix any minor repairs. These things are essential. Now, if you wanted to go changing kitchens or bathrooms, if you wanted to go to those major renovations, I would say speak to an estate agent, because not always will you get back what you spent.
And when you mean, is that the fact that when you put a lot of money, the house may not go for what you think it would go for, is it? And you could be at a loss?
Yes, I suppose that, and the other thing is the time period. If you want to sell it, September is a very popular month to go on the market. A lot of people want to be in their new home before Christmas, whereas if you're waiting till October or November to go on the market, you're dragging it out. And what people are finding as well, if they want to get those projects carried out in their home, you could be waiting for a builder for 2 years. So it really is down to your individual circumstances and the property itself.
And when you mentioned those major works there, Lisa is thinking of moving from her location. This is due to work reasons, so she's preparing her home for a sale. What are the best things to do then if your home, which Lisa thinks is more or less turnkey, how can you prepare a home for a sale to ensure that you get a fast sale?
Well, the first thing I would say to Lisa is to get a valuation of her property, so that she knows her budget. The other thing is to get in touch with her solicitor and make sure the legalities are sorted. You will need a building energy rating certificate, and all the paperwork that you will organise with your solicitor is key to a smooth, fast sale. Also, Lisa, I would say to declutter your property, see if there's any minor issues that you can, maybe something simple like home staging. But as you say, your property seems in turnkey condition. So it's getting those things done early. And if it's a case that you want to go to the market soon, you'll roll on. But we often have sellers that want to go to the market in January or February, and we're actually out taking photos now because the gardens are looking well.
So it's to catch the attention and catch the eye in the detail while things are looking well. That's the main aim, because if there is a lot of houses for sale, you want to entice those who are looking on any of the housing websites to stop and look at your home.
Absolutely. And it's, as you know now, JohnPaul, it's all online. It's all first impressions. The marketing of a home is really important. So making sure you have those good professional photography and video, they are the key to getting people to catch the phone and call you.
And the big question then we've got from people, and what we mentioned yesterday you were coming on, there is quite a number of people who are thinking of leaving their current home, moving to and purchasing a new home. But their fear is, if they have found their new dream home and they're ready to commit to that, but their own home hasn't sold yet, or indeed vice versa. What advice would you give to someone caught in that situation?
Yeah, it's all about preparation, and I see it happening every day of the week. If you're thinking of moving home, before you go out searching, the first thing you need to do is to get a valuation of your property, get the estate agent in there, get the marketing materials ready, and really you need to go to the market before you start searching. And the reason I say that is, if you were to put an offer on a property, it really won't be accepted if your own property is not on the market.
So it's kind of a balancing act to get both of them for sale, your own home for sale and the other one sale agreed at the same time?
Yes, and I think because the market is so competitive now, a lot of agents really request that your sale agreed on your own property. So you really have to jump ahead and look at the bigger picture. You need to be sale agreed with your own property before you can go putting offers on another one.
And that's tough, I'd imagine, Majella. I mean, from your experience, does that happen? Does it work out a lot? Or are there some people who are disappointed that, they'd lose out?
Well, I think it's definitely a fearful situation, because if you're thinking, I'm selling my home, but I've nowhere to go, there's a lot of fear there. But generally, it does work out. It does balance out. And the key is having a good agent and having a good solicitor and being prepared.
And you mentioned a while ago regarding location. Are there good deals out there, or indeed affordable homes to be got, that are not maybe in an urban setting or maybe set in rural settings that aren't near the coast? I mean, people are willing to travel now, I suppose, to find a home that they can actually afford, and maybe they're sick of renting or sick of house sharing. Are there deals maybe in outer areas of Cork or Munster where you can get a relatively good offer or good price on a house?
Certainly, JohnPaul, definitely if you go away from the core locations, you will get better value for money. There's no doubt about that. Like if you go somewhere, we take Dunmanway, for example, if you compare that to Cork City, you'll get a lot, you'll get value for money. And with people working from home now, they are prepared to stretch their commute. They may only have to go to work 1 or 2 days a week. We've a lot of buyers as well coming from Dublin to relocate here to West Cork. They can sell their simi above for big money and buy a good property down here. And they may only have to go to Dublin once or twice a month.
Yeah, and I know my own mates have done that after the pandemic when things changed work-wise. A lot of them left the cities and bought a home in either West Cork or in Kerry or wherever. And it is, working has changed. So, you are able to look outside of the cities now, whereas before people were not able to. So that is making a change. John is in 𝐥𝐢𝐬𝐬𝐿, Majella. He wants to know, what is the situation with a house you have let out or rented out if you want to sell this house? John has tenants in the house. So what is the first thing he has to do?
Well, the first thing he has to do is to really look at his lease and what the circumstances are with the tenant, because I suppose that's the area at the moment with a lot of legislation and protection for tenants, and rightly so. But he will need to look up the Private Residential Tenancy Board, and they will have a list of notice periods. So his first step really is giving notice to the tenant before he can make any further move.
Yeah, and you'll have to watch, as you mentioned, how many months they were in there, because there is a lot of legalities around that, isn't there?
There is, absolutely. There's key dates and key procedures, and they are very strict on that.
And are there certain houses outside of the new houses? Are there certain type of houses where people are looking at to buy now? For example, bungalows, are they still in high demand?
Bungalows are in forever high demand, JohnPaul. If we could just make more than basically. They are, because there's a lot of people thinking downsizing, and they're ideally looking for their bungalow, they're future proofing, and they're looking for them close to towns. They don't want to move too far away, put it this way, and they're just not to be got.
Yeah, and I suppose the big question from a lot of people this morning is, those that are looking at the moment are looking to buy, maybe first-time buyers, but they can't afford the new builds that are being purchased, and they're looking at the second-hands at maybe a lower value. Is it just simply a case of keep knocking on the estate agent's door, keep emailing via Daft, and eventually hopefully it would work out for you?
I think it's key that you build relationship with the local estate agents, and the reason being is not every property goes to the market, and also you want to be the first to know about those properties before it goes on the portals. So at D&G Galvin, we operate a system that people can register their details, and we will notify them before we go to the market.
Oh, so you're kind of a heads up before it goes public, so you'll have a fair idea of what's happening before others will jump in.
Absolutely, yes.
And is that the same, for example, if I or Bernie were not, but if we were selling our house, that we would go to you and we could sell the home and you would deal with those who were interested without having a for sale sign or without the house appearing on Daft or any of your websites?
Yes, that can certainly be done, and it depends on your situation. Generally, to get the best price, we would recommend you go to the market, but this is just one of our first steps before we go to the market. And
like those, if you are searching, register so with your estate agent or whoever, and you never know, your luck might come up before it goes too public. And looking at the overall market, Majella, no sign of things slowing down anytime soon, is there?
No, I mean, the key there is supply, JohnPaul. We just don't have enough of it, and until supply come up, unfortunately, the market is going to be tight and prices are going to continue to rise.
Okay.
Yes, I am predicting an increase of 4.5% for the next year.
So it's just on the way up. We'll have to wait and see. Even if we do get more houses, I suppose inflation will keep rising the prices. And whenever that will end, we don't know. I don't have an answer to that. Majella, thanks for the advice this morning on that. And hopefully we'll get more people into their own homes in the future. But I'd imagine you're extremely busy, and all estate agents are.
It is. It's an extremely busy market at the moment, and it's a tough market for both buyers and sellers, really, JohnPaul.
All right, Majella, we'll leave it there. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you, JohnPaul.
Take care. That is Majella Galvin there joining us from D&G Galvin in Bandon.